Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Game and welcome to a brand new video. So today we are going to be reviewing the latest match in Japan, which is the round 3 championship finals, which was between an Ivankov and Kiemon. So we are going to review the finals and watch how these two top players fought each other and how did the Ivankov won. I myself am an Ivankov player, so I'm very excited to watch this and watch how the Ivankov won the Kiemon, which must be because he's an Ivankov player. Alright, so we are going to be starting the video soon, and I've cut the audio from the video because I don't want to have two voices overlapping each other, so hopefully you don't mind the silence when it comes to the video, but I'll give my full commentary on the match. Alright, so the Ivankov starts first, which I don't think he should. By giving Kiemon the turn 2 advantage, he's able to summon Okiku right from the start. But the Ivankov does manage to use his buggy and finds an Ivankov. Which the one thing that's good about Ivankov going first is that once you reach 7 dawns, you hit the curve to summon Ivankov and Luffy. Kiemon uses his ability and summons Okiku. Lucky for the Kiemon, he had the Okiku in hand, which was able to make use of Kiemon's leader effect. However, this is troubling as Okiku next turn can rest whatever is on the board that Ivankov plays. Ivankov swings to the leader for 5k. Kiemon takes it. There is no trigger. Wow, look at that hand. Oh, you can't see the hand, but the Kiemon has quite a nice hand. And Ivankov plays Doflamingo, rearranging the top 5 cards of his deck. He gets the Luffy in the top 5, which is good. Seems like he's planning to draw it once he reaches 7 dawns. Okay. And as you can see from his hand, he has Alvida and Mihawk. And Mr. Tree, a good blocker, as well as the stage. He ends his turn. However, this turn, the Kiemon can rest the Doflamingo. He attaches 2 dawns on the Okiku, swinging for 7k, resting that Flamingo. Now he is able to block the attack, but will he do it? He's thinking of it. He'll have to sacrifice Galdino and Alvida. Nope, he takes the hit instead and gets a Scissors in hand, which is Inazuma. 5k from Kiemon, uses the effect to summon Raizo. Raizo is good in Kiemon as he's able to draw more cards if you have another card rested on the field, which is easy to do, especially once you have your Bonnie or Momonosuke in play. 5 dawns. He attacks Okiku, I believe. He's gonna summon. He has 5 dawns. He could do a few stuff here. Uses 1 dawn to summon New Kamaland. And Inazuma out. He does not use the ability of New Kamaland, which allows you to draw 1, discard 1, and you may discard another 3 more. But there's no point for him to do it right now. The Kiemon has 3 Bonnies in hand. Oh no, he has 2, he discarded 1. What is this Kiemon gonna do? Both players are at 4 life right now. He attacks with Okiku to rest Inazuma. Blocks for 2k. Is he gonna use Raizo to attack to draw the extra card? He rests 5s and KOs Inazuma. He swings the leader for nothing to draw the extra card. $5k2 leader. Is he gonna take it? Yep, no, he counters it. Sorry. Use the wrong word there. Right. The Ivankov player can now use Ivankov and Luffy effect to take back, probably to send Okiko back using Luffy's ability. He swings to, I'm guessing, Okiko. Oh, Raizo. And he swings Raizo again. Oh. Yeah, Raizo. He uses 7 Dons to summon Ivankov. Draw another card. He's gonna summon Luffy. Drop his Galdino and Crocodile. Who is he gonna send back? Sends back Okiko, which is good. Now what this Ivankov player did was he attacked either Okiko and Raizo twice to make him drop his hand. So when he sends back his opponent's character, he knows he's done it without wasting much of his effort, as his opponent dropped 2 cards to defend one of his characters. So it's an equal trade by sending back your opponent's character while discarding your own card and forcing your opponent to drop more cards as well. Now I like how this Japanese match has that small thing on the table which allows you to put your cards down. I think it's pretty nice. And it also prevents cheating, as you can't hide it under the table or anything, but it's a nice little area for you to put your cards. Sings Raizo 2, Do Flamingo. He's the leader for 5. Is he gonna take it? Unfortunately, his opponent had the Yamato in hand and rested his Luffy and KO'd him. Really unfortunate there. It's 2 more Dons. Now he has 9. He has Mr. Bonclay in hand and a Piranha. He's gonna use Piranha first to look at his top 5 cards. And using his stage, he's able to draw a card that he sees is nice, depending on what he's trying to do. He does not have any Ivankov from the top 5, so his choices is limited. There are 2 Flamingos at the top 5. A Brick Fist that sends back a 3 cost or less character, I believe. Is he gonna bury these 5 cards or use them? He chooses to bury them. Is he gonna summon Bonclay? Now he could take a gamble. Yep, he is gonna take a gamble. Does he get the Ivankov? He gets the Luffy instead. He is gonna trash Bonclay. Is he gonna summon that Luffy out? Or will he swing first? Attaches 2 down to Buggy and swings the Raizo. Yep, he protects it as he should, as Raizo is a strong card, especially for Kiamon, as it allows them to draw, or any deck in general. It's good to have Raizo. Alright, he lets X-Drake go. And he is gonna summon for Luffy. The Kiamon player has 2 Okikos in hand. The Ivankov player has a Buggy and Yukama Land in hand from his draw using Leader's effect. The KMO player is thinking how he's gonna maximize his Dawn usage. He should try to get rid of the Ivankov, so there are less attackers, which I think he does. Nope, he takes the life instead. Right. Ovida and Buggy. Ovida from the life, which could be useful in protecting Ivankov if he does decide to swing Ivankov. $7k leader. Now he does have Luffy in hand, so if he wants to use Luffy to swing later on for the double attack, he does need to keep at least one card in hand. He takes the life instead. He gets a Mihawk. 2k counter Mihawk. Summons the Okiku for 2 dots. Oh no. He does. But there are no blockers on the field. Oh, he does decide to summon a blocker. Okay, but fortunately for the Ivankov, he is able to send back that killer for that double damage. What will this Ivankov do? 3 cards in hand for the Kiemon. I will trash New Karma Land and probably Buggy. But he plays Buggy instead. Searching for the Ivankov. What does he take? Yeah, he does take Ivankov. Now how is he gonna do this? I would personally swing first and see how my opponent reacts before dropping the Ivankov. Oh, the Ivankov forgot to take a Dawn. And I think he was reminded to take it. That was lucky of him, if not he would have 9 Dawns to work with. Just 2 Dawns. Who's he gonna attach it to? Oh, he's not gonna do it. For him to maximize Ivankov's usage, he should discard 2 of his cards using New Karma Land. Alright, attaches 2 Dawns to Luffy. Swings the leader for 9k. He'll discard Elvira and New Karma Land. Obviously sends back Killer. Double attack. No trigger, which is good. Gets an Odin and another Killer, I believe, from the life. Unfortunately, the Ivankov is unable to finish this turn. And his opponent this turn. Another Galdino from the top draw. He needs to probably get rid of 2 of his cards. Probably a Mihawk and a Galdino. So when he summons Ivankov, he can draw 2 cards. And hopefully one of them is a Luffy to send back the okay, cool. Because that Okiko is gonna be troublesome next turn. He swings to Yamato. Defense for 1k. Oh, 2k. Yeah, because Yamato is 6k and Ivankov is 7. $5k2 leader. Box for 1. Uses 7 dawns. Trashes the buggy. Draws 1 card. Is that Luffy? I think it is a Luffy. Is it? That is super lucky. A top draw into Luffy. Damn. He should send back the Okiko to reduce the amount of attackers because he could lose next turn. Sends back Yamato instead. Okay. Okay, that is also pretty smart because he by sending back Yamato, he forces the opponent to either going for the attack all the way to end his opponent, or to exhaust 4 dawns to rest his Luffy and clear both Luffys instead. So the next turn he still has a chance to survive. This is a dangerous board for the Kiemon to face. 2 Ivankovs and 2 Luffys. Was he gonna swing 7k2? Oh, he rests Buggy. Okay, I guess there's no reason why he shouldn't use the effect for even for fun. He's thinking whether he should counter. He does counter for 3k. Not sure who he's protecting because even if I put the audio on, it's still in Japanese. Or he put 4 dawns to rest that Luffy. He theoretically, he could clear both Luffys actually. Yep, Luffy. Does he want to kill the other Luffy? Cause that is dangerous. Ivankov instead. Okay. Oh yeah, he has Punk Gibson in hand. However, Punk Gibson wouldn't do much against that Luffy's double attack. Or it wouldn't, or the secondary effect, which is rest of 4 cost character, wouldn't be much useful. But the Luffy can't use double attack because he only has 1 card in hand and he whiffs that newcomer land draw. So he is unable to get that double attack in because there's no Ivankov to double draw. Hits leader for 5k. And the Kiemon has nothing to counter other than Punk Gibson, which is very unfortunate for him. Oh no, he has X Drake, which is a 1k counter. Other than that, that's all he counters. That's all the counters he has. $7k to okay, cool instead. $7k, okay, cool. Is he gonna use his Pump Gibson to protect it? No, he's gonna let it go. Nah, 8k2 leader. Is he gonna take it or Punk Gibson? Because if he does take the hit, it makes him vulnerable to the next turn. Because his opponent, he is gonna Punk Gibson. and summons Galdino. So this is gonna be very dangerous for the Kiemon, because if he is unable to clear that Luffy, actually no, he's gonna clear one of his characters. No, he's gonna block. So by the Kiemon is in a disadvantage right now, because if he attacks Ivankov's life, he will be able to draw another card and use the double attack. If he clears one of his board, it's gonna be blocked. So unless he can summon a 8-cost kid or 10 or 5 blockers, the Kiemon is gonna be very, let's just say he's not gonna be in a good situation. However, it was very lucky for that Ivankov to outdraw that Luffy from his Ivankov, because if that wasn't there, he would have been in serious trouble. Summons that Yamato for 3 Dawns, whereas Galdino, so he is able gonna be freely attack Galdino or Luffy. He has 8-cost kit in hand, Oden in hand, and a 7-cost kit in hand. Not pretty good. He will swing 5k to his life. Is he gonna take it or counter it? He counters it. He rests 7 to summon 7-cost kid. Yep. So he'll take 4 hits that have to go through in order to win. He has a Mr. Bonclay and a Doflamingo in his hand. Is he gonna use his buggy to attack first? Yes, he is. Takes the life, no trigger, and is a beige from the life. The Kiemon right now is very unlucky to have 0 counters in his hand. However, it's not gonna mean much as Ivankov should be able to clear it. What did the Oden deck? What did the Kiemon get? Blocks. And unfortunately, if the Kiemon loses, 7k to the leader. And he wins. Alright, now that we have reviewed the match, let us go back and take another look and see how the Ivankov won and what opportunities made him won. So here is where the match took a turn point in favor of the Ivankov. Let us watch it. So this is when he used Piranha to look at the top 5 cards of his hand. Of his deck I mean. And he saw there was no Ivankov or no Luffy. So he decided to bury the 5 cards to the bottom of his deck and prayed that he gets an Ivankov or Luffy from the top drawer using New Karma Land. And fortunately he does get that Luffy, which saved him. Now you might be asking, how did it save him? Well, it just created an opportunity for him to send back something next turn, as well as use the double attack, which for an Ivankov you do need your Luffy to be on the board at some point of the game, even if it just means using his ability once, just to send back something. And against a Kiemon, you always want to have your Luffy ready to send back something, whether it be a Okiku, a blocker, or Yamato, or even Raizo. But mainly you want to be sending back the Okiku, as it can be a major pain in the ass. And this is where the Kiemon took a turn for the worse, as his whole hand had barely any counters. And yeah, overall the Kiemon was super unlucky with his draws when it came to countering, as he had no way of defending his characters or himself, as he threw most of his counters early in the game, which were bodies. Unfortunately, he had 3 bodies and couldn't do much with them, didn't even place them down, and he was stuck with his 7-cost keep, I think, throughout the entire game, and only summoned it when at the last turn when he was gonna die. Now this Ivankov player did quite very well, but let's be honest, he won because of that top draw Luffy, which luck is an essential in this game, as you could be super skilled at making decisions and how to maximize your dons and efficiency, but once you don't have the cards you need, you are gonna lose. And in both players' case, luck was very important to them. And another point where the Ivankov had an even luckier draw was when he used Buggy to search for Ivankov, and he got it. He had 4 other cards in his hand, which he used to use his double attack, which we'll see in a bit. But I feel like he could have maximized his stages effect more alongside Ivankov's effect. But we shall wait for that moment and we will decide. This is where he forgot to take his extra Dawn, and his opponent allows him to take it. So that was very fortunate of him, and very kind for his opponent to let him take another Dawn. Where when you're playing a championship, you might not be so as lucky to have a kind opponent like this guy. Now you may say that he did not need that extra Dawn to save him and win, but when you're playing the game, you have no idea what your opponent has, so every bit of Dawn helps. Yep, he swings and discards 2 of his cards, which is Newcomer Land and Elvida, to send back his killer, forcing his opponent to take the 2 hits. And now we are seeing a bit where he uses Newcomer Land, or he did. Yeah, he used Newcomer Land to either get a Luffy or filter out another card. But personally, he has 2 Galdinos and 1 Mihawk in his hand. I would have discarded the Galdino and Mihawk, leaving just 1 Galdino behind, so I'm able to draw 2 cards instead of just 1, so that I will have a higher chance to draw into that Luffy. But fortunately for the Ivankov, he does pull off that top draw Luffy from Ivankov effect. But in normal games, you could be easily punished if you make just 1 small mistake. But lucky for the Ivankov player, luck was on his side, so he was able to top draw Luffy not once but twice, which I wish that happens to me as well. Then he swings the leader for 5, making him drop more hand, which is always good to do. Even though you're gonna sandbag something, it's always good to attack that thing first, so that he will either drop hand or let it go. If he lets it go, that is good for you. You don't have to discard the 2 cards in your hand, unless they're trash. But yep, he tops draw the Luffy, discards 2 and sends back the Yamato, which I think is pretty smart, sending back the Yamato, as your opponent is forced to make 2 decisions. 1, either go all in with the Dons and attack the leader, or exhaust 4 Dons to rest the Luffy or another character, so that your opponent next turn, if he survives, or no, if you survive, you have a high chance to survive, as he has less attackers. But personally, this Kiemon, I think what he did wrong here was when his opponent has 0 life, 0 cards in hand, 0 cards in hand, he should have placed down Yamato and rest the other Luffy, so that he's unable to use the double breaker effect or send back something. In case he does get the other Ivankov and draws 3 cards, and is able to send back something and take the extra 2 hits. He swings, I believe, Luffy, which forces him to discard 2 cards. No, he swings the leader, so he uses 3k to counter it. Which I think what Ivankov thought was that he was gonna swing his life, but the Kiemon did something right there. Swinging the life, so it's either he takes it or he drops hand, making you able to swing the Luffy for free. And something you guys should take note is that if you're facing a Luffy and you have the ability to kill the Luffy, always go for the Luffy, because the Luffy can be much more dangerous than you think, as Ivankov has a one-time use effect, whereas the Luffy has a multi-time effect. Even though your opponent does not meet the conditions to use it at first, if he does find that Ivankov, you will be punished for that decision. But I think, yeah, the Kiemon should have gone for the Luffy. As in any case, if his opponent does get Ivankov or manages to draw another card with whatever means, he will send back that Okiku while attacking your leader. So that gets rid of 2 stones, and what they say, 2 birds with 1 stone. Luffy is the stone, your life and character is the 2 birds. As Luffy, even though your opponent may have countered the attack and you are able to send back one of their stuff, you don't get punished as much, as you send back 1 potential threat while making your opponent drop their hand. If they don't drop their hand, they take life, is even much more of an opportunity of a window for you to swing their life even more. This Ivankov used the Erebus Brick Fist, which I personally don't use, but I think it is a strong card to have. As for 2 Dons, you send back, I believe, a 3 to 4 cost card to their hand, which if you do not have Luffy early game or Elvida, you could use that card and send back the Okiku, delaying that turn, or forcing opponent to wait an additional turn to have Okiku use its effect. Which against a Kiemon that has no rush cards, it's always good to send back the Okiku or any character like Raizo, to delay your opponent's turn to use that card's effect, which could cost the game. He used Punk Gibson to protect his life. Someone's Galdino, which protects his characters even more, or life, which in this case is mainly to protect his characters. Right here, the Kiemon has not much to do. So at this point is where the Kiemon has faced death and looked in the eyes and said, I guess I'm going down now. Yeah, but let me move my camera up a bit to show you. This is what he has. A Kid, Yamato, Olen, and a 7-cost Kid. Then let us move forward a bit. This was what the Ivankov had in hand. The 7-cost Kid comes out. Right here is when the Kiemon decides to take a life, and it was a beige. When I say decided to take life, I mean was forced to take life because his hand was trash, which is very unfortunate. Right here he wants to swing the leader, but he did not. Instead opting to use Galdino to attack, which is always good to use your characters to attack rather than your leader, as almost most of the time trigger effects rarely affect your leader. So for example, Punk Gibson is able to rest your opponent's character but not your leader. And this is where the Kiemon loses to the Ivankov, who was absolutely lucky with his Luffy draws that zoom in on the face. They look on the camera like, yeah, I did it. I don't think there's anything else after this. You can see that's the award ceremony, probably talking about something. I have no idea what they're saying, there's no translations. Alright, right here I have the Ivankov's deck list. However, I am unable to retrieve the Kiemon's deck list, but we shall suffice with just the Champions deck. So right here we have 4 Coronas, 4 Buggies, 4 Elvida, 4 Flamingos, 4 Mihawks, 4 Inazumas, 4 Mr. 3 Galdino, 3 Crocodile, 4 Mr. 2 Bonclay, 4 Luffy, 4 Ivankos, 3 9-cost Mihawks, 2 Erebus Big Fist, and 2 New Karma Land. Now, what is abnormal about this deck, or what makes it special? Nothing much. The most I would say is just that extra Mihawk. But for Ivankov deck, it's not that punishing to have maybe even 4 of these cards. Because if you don't want it, just throw away. Oh, you're useless to me. That is what your New Karma Land or Luffy's effect will do for you, or even Mr. Trees. So if you don't need it, just throw away. It's the same thing with the Erebus Spirit Fist. If you don't need it, just throw it away using their effects. But This card is also very useful if you do not have your Piranha or Luffy at all, as this allows you to send back a 4-cost card back to your opponent's hand, and the trigger is even more good as it allows you to use the main effect. So if your opponent is about to swing you and your trigger comes out before, you can summon back, for example, a Yamato or an Elkiku, so they are unable to attack, reducing their attackers and resetting their cooldown for attacking, which is basically when they summon it, they have what's it called? Summoning sickness. So sending back your opponent's character using that is a good way to reset their summoning sickness. And for Luffy, is the worst card to face when you're playing against any Ivankov deck or blue deck that plays Luffy, as once it's on the field, it's very annoying to deal with. And the Mihawk is just there for the counter. The rest all has utility of some sorts. Obviously your Mihawk is just to send back something. Yaudino is a blocker and attacker at the same time. Inazuma is your high cost blocker, but when you need him to attack, he does the job. Bon Clay, 2k counter but has a good effect against certain decks and is able to be summoned by Ivankov, so an additional attacker. Bruna for the effect and counter. Flamigo for the blocker and effect. New Karmaland, I would increase to 3 personally. I feel this card is very useful. And yeah, nothing that's special other than the actual Mihawk. But it's also not that unnormal for decks to have a 3 to 4 even, as it's just a good card to have, especially against green decks or purple decks. And obviously, if you're playing Ivankov, you have to run 4 Luffys and 4 Ivankov. If not, you're trolling. But yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and can't wait to wake up and see all the blue cards price increase because of the championship. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you guys next time.